Hi, everybody. Here is Elemental Healing 101. So you've probably heard me talk about elemental healing as a core practice that we are committing to in the village this year. But I wanted to give a wider, just really quick little teaching on this, because basically what I've been doing is really transforming a lot of the Ayurvedic wisdom that I've been learning for all these years into our modern lives, into ways in which we can actually integrate, not just learn more information, but really be able to use these tools in our daily life and on the path of self-healing, which really is the whole potency and power of Ayurvedic wellness. So this is an elemental healing like 101 cheat sheet, just some things for you to remember. You can print this out or take a picture of it. It will be, I will also post a PDF of it, so you'll have access to it. But just again, the invitation that when people say you have all you need, I think a lot of times we're like, great, I'm down with that. And what does that mean? Or how do I access that? So elemental healing is the way in which we interact with the elements in nature and in our lives in order to bring more balance and harmony to our physical, mental, energetic, emotional, spiritual, and relational health. So we're looking at health and orienting towards health in all of these realms. And elemental healing is the act of integrating, of knowing, okay, cool, I am feeling very tired today, heavy, lethargic, slothy. What tools in my toolbox do I have to balance that heaviness? I'm feeling really anxious today. My mind is racing. I'm feeling like my thoughts are all over the place. What tools in my toolbox do I have to descend some of that energy and get more in the body and have a more embodied and integrated experience? Elemental healing, these are some basic suggestions, just little like tips and tricks for you to think about so you can craft and create your own elemental healing plan through your own life. So one of the ways in which we practice rooting, grounding, and connection when we're feeling really isolated, lonely, anxious, or fearful is to practice the art of touching trees, talking with trees, listening to trees, and just touching them as our ancestors and our elders who are holding so much wisdom, stability, strength, and resource for us. Another grounding, rooting, elemental practice is to lay on the earth. And you can lay kind of like belly to belly, skin to skin. If you can lay face down, you can put your bare feet on the earth. So laying on the earth, touching the earth, laying back and letting the earth support you. Any of these postures, just have it be really intuitive. That's what you can go to when, again, you're feeling lost, lonely, isolated, anxious, fearful, or you just want to feel that kind of energetic charge that Mother Earth can give you, that grounding, that rooting, that dirt, that earthiness. Just let it descend down through the hips, down through the body. And while you're there laying or touching, just breathing and listening. And I would say that breathing and listening and just shifting awareness to the heart center is the instruction for all of these elements, right? So if you're touching trees or laying on the earth, lighting fires on purpose. So we would use lighting a fire, a candle, a fire outside. It can also be like activating just kind of in the mind's eye a fire. The fire element really helps us burn through stuff. It really helps us with the transformative process. It helps us in transformation, right? We throw things we don't want anymore into the fire. We focus, we might meditate on the fire and see what's coming alive in our own fire, in our own life, right? So fire is really this action, transformation, And we're taking things, a lot of times when we light fires on purpose and put things into the fire, we might put, things that are stressing us out, things that might be toxic for us, things that might be emotions we might want to release, or people we might want to release from our lives or situations. So we're working with fire on the spiritual level, on the soul level, to really have that connection to transformation. Sacred waters. And this is when we take a bath or a shower or even wash our hands, to be honest, on purpose with attention. Remember, I said breathing and shifting awareness into the heart, and just listening is part of all the elemental healing practices. And so this is saying, okay, I'm holding, let's say I have something that is bothering me and I can't quite release it. Then we might take a sacred bath or shower, maybe with Epsom salts, maybe with some oils, maybe just taking a shower with some really nice, quiet music, or even music you just love to sing, because singing is so good for the soul. But again, on purpose, going in with the intention. Now, sometimes I don't have time for that, and I'm feeling this desire to have sacred water time. I might just go to the sink and wash my hands and just spend a few minutes washing, cooling the fire. If I'm feeling really angry or activated, maybe one of the kids is something's going on with them and it's just like there's a lot of aggravation or there's a lot of fire inside of me, that's when I can wash my hands and just, okay, cool this fire, shifting my awareness to the heart center, focusing on my breath and a little bit more embodiment. That helps me navigate the fire that's building inside. And so I'm using water to put out the fire, or I'm using water to cleanse the fire or the frustration or the aggravation or anything that's present. The next element we'll be working with is ether, which is our spiritual connection. And that is when we look up to the mystery and the unknown. This is when we get a zoom out perspective. So you might have something really micro happening in your life that you're completely fixated on, something at work, something with your money, something with your body, and you're just the mind is becoming fixated. The elemental healing practice for this type of experience is to look up, go outside and look up, look at the air. Feel the air, feel the connection to spirit or source, the wider network, the wider interconnectedness of life, the zoom out. Like we go outside and we look up and we take some deep breaths and we shift our awareness to our heart and we just feel in to the ether, to the air, to the vastness of the world, right? And so we've gone from this fixation and then we go up and we say, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, with some practice, you might get some downloads, you might get some information to come to you. You might just have a moment of peace. You might, there's lots of different things you can experience with these elemental healing practices. Okay, so we've gone through earth, a little bit of steadiness and stability with wood, fire, water, air, ether. And I touched on this a little bit with laying on the earth, but also hands in the earth or dirt. So if you're, this is a remedy for a lot of feeling disconnected or feeling hyper anxious or restless, or, I think a lot of people right now are kind of questioning purpose and career, and we're just in like a really massive time of transition in the world. And so one of the practices is to get down on your knees and put your hands in the earth or the dirt and just sit there for your meditation, either holding it or just putting it down, putting your palms down and just breathing, shifting the awareness to the heart and feeling into the heart center and just having awareness that we are grounded and safe in this moment. And then at the bottom of this little cheat sheet, I just put a little reminder for you. Kaphic, doshic energy works with the elements of earth and water, which is the intention of grounding and stability, steadiness. Pitta works with the elements of fire and water, is made up of the elements of fire and water. And our spiritual work or soul work here with Pitta is transformation and the transformative process, burning through stuff and rebirthing. Vata is that air ether, that space connection, spiritual connection to source energy and to the bigger, wider vastness of our existence. Along with this, I made you a playlist for each element that you could use as a practice. You could listen to the playlist in order and invite the elements in to dance with you, to move with you, to pray with you during your elemental healing time. And you are always invited to make up your own practices, your own elemental healing remedies. I recently was on a walk and found this little stump, and it just told me to pick it up, and I held it kind of all the way home and felt so connected to the trees and the earth around me, and then put it here on my altar. Also with this rock, I was out walking and this rock was right there. And so stone, rock, can also be something that we work with here in just listening, heart attention, and connecting, especially in this world that is ever changing with so many unknowns. So may our elemental healing wash over us, to our families, to the community, and to the world.